What's up, everybody? I'm Tyrik Wynn, and this is Tyrik on the Move. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another magnificent episode of Tyrik on the Move. I'm your host, Tyrik Wynn, and we have an amazing lineup for you today. We're going to get started and acknowledge our sponsor for today's show. It's Simply Because Clothing. Simply Because Clothing provides custom inspirational clothing for everyone. Hats, tops, bottoms, socks, shoes from head to toe. You can find Simply Because Clothing on Instagram and Facebook at Simply Because Clothing. And shout out to Simply Because Clothing because they made me this amazing shirt right here. It says, "I have a purpose, I am a CEO." And well, yeah, I actually am a CEO. So if you're an entrepreneur out there, I highly recommend this shirt right here. I think all entrepreneurs should have this because you are a CEO and you have a purpose. So hey, why not go ahead and make that order from Simply Because Clothing, and hey, send me a picture, and that way we can be twinning. Now let's go ahead and move on to the rest of the show. It's time to get into What's Sizzilin. This week on What's Sizzilin, we have some pretty amazing topics. First, I want to talk about the election. And those of you who are in Georgia know that the primary election is coming up very soon. It's coming up in June. Lots of people are doing absentee mail-in ballots. We also have people that will be doing early voting. Early voting will be starting in just a few days. So if you like to get out and vote early, hey, go ahead and get out and vote early. Me personally, I actually like to vote on the day of. I don't know, it just seems more official to me. So I like to, vote on the day of and post my, voting pictures with my election sticker on and stuff. So I think voting on the day of, for me, it just makes it more of an exciting process. And since I'm 19 years old, very excited that this will be my first primary election where I'll be able to, vote in a primary and also vote for a presidential candidate as well. And then we also have local elections that are happening too. So yeah, I'm very excited about voting. It's one of my favorite things when I, turned 18 years old. Next, we're going to get into more things are starting to reopen. So, for example, I actually saw on the internet that casinos are starting to reopen. And as some of you know, we don't have those here in Georgia. So it's a lot of people, here that have been looking forward to this particular venue opening. And then moving on, Governor Brian Kemp went to the press conference this past week. Hopefully you all heard me on TV and saw me on TV too. But yeah, so I went to this press conference this past week and he was talking about things that are allowed to reopen. So daytime daycares are allowed to reopen. But he said those large scale venues like amusement parks, concerts, big time venues and big events, those will remain closed until May 31st. So make sure you go on and check online and just make sure what type of things, occur to use to see exactly the specific things that can be open and specific things that need to stay closed, because it's very specific. So if you're in one of these businesses and you're not sure, if you're having questions about whether you can reopen or not, make sure you just do your research online and then figure out if you can reopen. Well, now it's time to go ahead and get into our big interview. And before we go to this interview, I do want to say this because I know the comments are going to start rolling in if I don't say this. But yes, this interview was done before the coronavirus struck. And I say that because it's in person and obviously we're not social distancing. So this interview was done back earlier this year. So it's happened before the coronavirus pandemic. So I just wanted to be clear about that and let you guys know. But yes, our interview for today is Lil Richye. He is from out of Charlotte, North Carolina. big time hip hop artist, has had some amazing things happen for him, and he has some really great songs too. They're positive, a pretty good vibe going on. So yeah, definitely encourage you, make sure you go look him up on YouTube. He has some great music for you to vibe to, and groove to. But yes, I want you all to stay tuned and listen to this great, amazing interview with Lil Richye. Stay tuned. What's good, everybody? We're sitting down with the one and only Lil Richye. So tell me, how you doing? Well, welcome to the A.
What's up? I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm so glad you was able to come in, and I'm glad your people reached out so we can go ahead and get this interview done, Yeah, so tell me what you doing in town.
Just really working. Got a lot of interviews lined up. Just staying focused and pursuing my craft,
Got you. And you started this thing at the age of 3.
Yeah.
You started young, so tell me, where'd you get the motivation? Where's your drive?
I'm gonna say, I know a lot of people say this, but really music has always just been inside of me. Whether if it's me dancing, whether me singing karaoke or anything, it's always been inside me. Like you said, at the age of 3, I was on stage and being around the music surrounding, seeing other people on stage, seeing how the ins and outs, the pros and cons of the industry and how everything works. So it just so happened when I said this is what I wanted to do, and God gave me the talent to back it, I was unstoppable.
That is awesome. I like that powerful story, and the fact that you started young, that's inspiring for other young people as well. So, what's something you got to say to young people that may have been in your position, saying, hey, I want to, be a rapper, I want to do this and that. What you got to say to them?
Just stay focused, keep your eye on the prize. Don't let anybody deter you from your dreams. Don't let nobody tell you no. Don't let nobody tell you can't do anything. You always got to turn that can't into a can.
Absolutely, and yeah, we're going to get into that in just a few minutes. But, so your parents founded Let's Ride Records.
Yes,
tell me a little bit about that.
Let's Ride Records, that's my label right now that we under. My parents been running this record label for almost 15 years now.
Wow.
So, like I said, Let's Ride Records has been around when I was first getting started, before I was even born actually, so it might have been a little more than 15 years. And so, just seeing everything, how they did with the artists and BET and everything, I seen the industry at a young age.
Got you.
And this is something that I have been wanting, my whole life.
Yeah, hey, chase that dream.
Yes, sir.
That's what you got to do. So, they also made the musical group, PB3.
Yes, sir. My little brother, shout out to them.
Yeah.
PB3, King K, Tricky Ricky, they up next.
Okay, cool. So talk about, this thing is in the family, it's not just random people that you just met. This is a family business.
Right, most definitely.
Yeah, okay. So talk about, I guess that family bond that y'all have to be able to, stick together and do these types of stuff.
All right, well, through anything that you do, it's always going to be ups and downs. And the fact that we're family, we're always going to be able to come back to each other. Whereas if it was outsiders, if you have a disagreement, you're not necessarily, if you choose not to come back together, then that's it, you're stuck in a situation. But the fact that we're family and our loving is unconditional, we're gonna get upset at times, but we're gonna come back to each other because, we know and we realize that at heart, our family got our best interests.
That's great, man. I love to hear stuff like that. So, written and recorded, Generation Next, single. Tell me about that.
Wow, Generation Next, that was a single where I was basically in so many words speaking on what was going on at that moment and what's still continuing to go on right now. I feel it's crazy is because I think I really said something in 2012.
Yeah.
And to this exact day, we are still experiencing issues where the same thing is going on. And that's why I'm going to talk about Tamir Rice, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, and so many other people that were in their situations, and the police brutality and how we're the next generation, how we have to change so that we can have a better future, and it's still going on today. So I'm still the same person trying to teach everybody else that this is what we need to do so we can be united
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, man, because, just to, we got all these types of situations and all this stuff arises, but, it's good that we have people like you sticking to their craft, doing their thing, making a positive impact.
Most definitely, that's all it's about.
Cool. All right, so now, you're an author. Talk about that book, Big Brother, Big Shoes.
Well, I am an author, like you said. I have 2 books. The first one we finna get into, since you mentioned it, is Big Brother, Big Shoes. It's a children's book. And like I was telling you earlier about Generation X, it's basically about us being the next generation. And me being an older role model, me being an older role model to my little brothers. I have 2 little brothers, like I said, King K, Tricky Ricky, PB3. I want to see them win. I don't want to see them go in the wrong direction. I don't want to see them go left. I want to see them go right. So it's basically about understanding the importance of, setting a better example for everyone. And I know I'm not the only person that feel like that, because I know, just like I have younger brothers, other people have younger siblings, or even if they're not younger siblings, somebody that you care for that's under you that you want to lift up so you can see them do right.
That's right. It's really important, set the example for the younger people, younger generation. So yeah, people like to see that stuff.
Yes, sir. And the second book is called The Know the Man Go Hard, which is a motivational book.
Mm-hmm.
And in today's society, we have a lot of mental illness going on, whether it's depression or really no matter what it is. It's a lot of it going on, and none of it is being talked about really. And like a lot of people start going elsewhere to help try to solve their problems. When I want them to know that they're not alone. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That there is a way out of it and going a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can do it the right way as well. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's always a way out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't stop. Don't give up. Don't give in.
Yeah, because God will make a way for you.
Listen, my saying was sometimes man's rejection is God's protection.
Absolutely. I like that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a powerful statement right there.
Yes, sir.
So, not only you rapping, you got a book out, TV personality, the rap game. Wow.
Yes, sir.
I mean, working with Jermaine Dupri, what was that experience like?
I'm gonna say, for the most part, it was cool because I was able to learn out of the situation. And I feel like any situation that I'm able to learn out of, it's always a great situation. Because going on a rap game, that's all the situation was. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going on there to win. I was going on there for exposure, and I was going on there to learn and make myself a better artist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I ended up getting out of the situation. So I'm grateful for the situation. I learned, and just shout out to Jermaine. He did his thing back then, and you know what I'm saying, he's a very influential person to hip-hop culture.
Yeah, okay. And just talking about that situation, sometimes, we'll go somewhere and we're looking for something particular, but God might got something better for us.
Right.
Yeah, so that's really
Most
important.
definitely.
Because a lot of people
God often works in silence.
Absolutely. That's right. So tell me, you established a relationship with Zato.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading the story about that. That's pretty huge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, the way that situation really worked was me and Zato, when we first saw each other. We didn't really get to meet. I ain't gonna say we met, but we first saw each other on the shoulder rap game. Mm-hmm. And he liked me then, but it was a TV show, so I couldn't go up to him and talk to him, kick it the way I actually wanted to.
Yeah.
But Zaytoven, he saw the talent that I had, and we saw that Zaytoven was having an event. Zaytoven has always been one of my idols that I always wanted to work with. So we saw he had an event. We went down there to work with him. Zaytoven was happy to see me because he really liked me on the show. So we was able to work together, and the connection was just there. The vibe was there. Everything was right. I couldn't describe it as nothing else, but God's time. God's work, because now Zaytoven is my mentor. So the way everything just worked and connected, I give all the praise to God.
Man, that's awesome.
Yes,
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's a big contact right there. Now, you out of Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
You got recruited by the Charlotte Hornets. That's pretty huge. Tell me, how did the opportunity come about for you?
So, as you know, I'm an author.
Mm-hmm.
A few years back, when I was in elementary school, I said a few years back, but the point is, when I was in elementary school, the Charlotte Hornets that came to my school, they do this reading program. It's called the Book Bus Tour. Heroes Book Bus Tour. And basically, in this program, they go around to the elementary schools, sometimes the middle schools, and they teach the kids the importance of your education and how if you read every single day, that your education can take you to your dreams. So, with that being said, the Hornets, they saw everything that I was doing, from me being an artist and from me being an author. They was like, oh, he wrote 2 books, and they was like, oh, he's a living testimony. They was like, it'll be great if we incorporate you with our show. So I went on to the show. I went to do a couple of their shows, and they really liked what I was doing, and I officially got sponsored by the Hornets. So that's the way that the situation really worked out.
Okay, cool. Man, wow. You got a pretty good story. I admire what you're doing. I admire your parents and what they're doing, your brothers.
Yes, sir.
And I'm inspired. Yeah, so I just want to thank you. Yes, absolutely. So I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Once again, thank you for your people for reaching out to us. And last but not least, you got to put me in one of your videos.
I got you.
Yeah, shoot. I know. I be driving through Charlotte all the time on the way to Virginia. So yeah, I have to stop in.
Most definitely. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Any closing remarks you'd like to leave with the audience?
Man, make sure y'all follow me on all social media at Lil Richye. That's LILRICHYE, except for on Twitter where that's LILRICHYE. Since we was talking about my big brother Zaytoven, I'm gonna need y'all to go make sure y'all check out my new single. Not my new single, but one of my latest singles with my big brother Zaytoven. It's called I Want the Bag. We are on the road to 500,000 streams. I want to say thank you to everybody that's supporting me and rocking out with me. But my latest single, Since Side, dropped January 21st. Make sure y'all go get that right now. The video is also on the way. Yiddy.
All right, cool. All right, thank you so much once again, and back to you in the studio. Welcome back, everybody. Hope y'all enjoyed that interview with Lil Richye out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Make sure you go check out some of his great music on YouTube, and hey, send me some clips of y'all dancing and vibing to that music. I want to see what you guys are out there doing. And hey, what a better time to listen to music during this pandemic. I mean, lots of people are still at home. Lots of people are, not going, places. So hey, it's a perfect time to listen to music. Now it's time to get into Tyrik's money tips. And today's money tip is bouncing back from the coronavirus. So like some of you know that lots of things are starting to reopen, but how can you bounce back? And that's something that, every business is different. Everybody's wondering, how can I bounce back from the coronavirus? It's so much going on. But yes, you can bounce back. And personally, what I recommend for business owners, if you're a business owner and you had to close for a substantial amount of time, then it's time to bounce back. And what I recommend is offering some deals, do some promotions, do some advertising. These are ways, let your customers know that you are back open. Let your customers know that you have new deals that are happening right now, new promotions, discounts that are going on. Go ahead and offer those to your customers. Go ahead, get everybody back in. Make sure you let everybody know you're open and do lots of advertisements so that way people know that you're opening. And that is Tyrik's Money Tips. Now it's time to close out the show, but I can't leave you without giving you your encouraging words. Today's encouraging words comes from Proverbs 16:9. It says, when a man's ways please the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. And I read that verse because I think we all should be on a mission to please the Lord, and not just pleasing the Lord because you want something or, you want to get something out of it. But why not just please the Lord just because you want to, just because it makes you feel good. Just go ahead and please the Lord. Do some things, listen to the Lord. He's talking to us, telling you different things. I know he speaks to me a lot. I hope he's speaking to you. But yes, do things that please the Lord and not to get anything out of it, but just to please the Lord. And hey, and when you please the Lord, you will be at peace in the world, and hey, you will be at peace with him and developing a very healthy relationship with God. Well, that's the show. Make sure you all stay connected with Tyrik on the Move throughout the week. Make sure you guys follow Tyrik on the Move on all social media platforms. And hey, the show is coming to a close for this season, but we have some great, amazing things, and we are not finished with the show yet. So make sure you all stay tuned. next week for another magnificent episode of Tyrik on the Move. I'll see you then.